Hi guys, good morning again. Hopefully you've watched video one so you understand where I'm trying to take this channel. So just basically for someone that hasn't watched video one, my name is Mick Taylor, I'm a builder, I live in London and I had a stroke about 9 months ago. So I've decided to use AI to try and get back to somewhere where I was before, which was pretty fit for someone at 77 years old. So this video is going to cover from just before I had the stroke through my journey up until now, which will basically cover what happened on the day of the stroke, my hospital stay, my rehab stay, what's happened since I've got home, and basically where I am at this moment in time. So the idea is to use AI over the next 12 months to see realistically if I can get back to somewhere where I was before. So please watch video one and then video two will make sense to you. So thank you so much for watching. So welcome back guys. So I'm going to go back to March the 10th, 2025, and to give you a build up to when I had the stroke. So it was a really nice sunny day, we was doing a job actually very close to the hospital. In fact, it's next to the hospital, because I remember making a joke to my son saying, if I fall off the ladder, Mike, just throw me over the wall, Little did I know that later that night I would be in the same hospital, So all day long nurses and doctors are walking past the house we was working on, and there you go. I had no idea that later that night I would be in there. So our work involves working on the outside of houses. We spray the outside of houses, and all day long, no problems at all. I'm working, climbing ladders very high up, in fact, So we finished our work and we've gone home, So my computer is upstairs in the bedroom, so I've gone upstairs, made a cup of tea, went upstairs, sat on the computer, started doing some work, and then I remembered I had to phone a relative in Spain. So I made the call, and we started getting into an argument of all things, And the argument got really, really out of hand. It ended up as a screaming match. And then all of a sudden, I felt my left arm, pins and needles. I really didn't think too much of it, because I thought it's where my arm had been laying on the side of the chair. So I got up to go to the toilet, and with that, I just keeled over, straight over. And I remember as I'm falling down, thinking to myself, it was like a voice in my head saying, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, I hit the floor, my left leg ended up my back, I couldn't actually see my leg, as I'm laying on the floor. So I really just wanted to go to sleep, but I kept thinking, no, don't sleep, don't sleep. So I managed to get to the side of the bed. Luckily enough, I'd left my phone on my bed and phoned my son up, and my son Mike said, Dad, I think you've had a stroke by the way you're talking and obviously what you're telling me. So he said, I'll come straight over and I'll get an ambulance as soon as I can. So the problem was, I'm upstairs in the bedroom. I'm on my own. The front door is bolted from the inside. Even with a key, Mike's not going to be able to get in, So I've now got to try and get my leg out from where it's up my back. I managed to do that after 5 or 10 minutes. It was an absolute nightmare. Got my backside on the stairs and then literally slid down the stairs on my backside. Yeah, pushing and pushing to get down. I managed to get down to the front room and then slid across the front room to the front door. So by this time Mike's arrived, yeah. He's looking through the letterbox at me and he said, "Can you reach the bolt, Dad?" And I said, "The bolt's too high, mate. I can't get up there to reach the bolt." So he said, "Okay." So he poked a stick through the door and then I used this arm, because I couldn't use my left arm, this arm to get underneath the bolt and actually unbolt the door. So he's come in, yeah, and pulled me to one side, helped me as much as he could. But then with that, fair play to the ambulance people, they turned up straight away. So 2 young girls come in, 2 paramedics, yeah, they realised what I was going through. They quickly done what they had to do with me, put me into a chair and whisked me off to hospital. So the next few days, I honestly and truthfully don't know what was going on. Yeah, that's the situation where I was. Yeah, so that was it. I'm now in hospital. So guys, I'm now in hospital. Yeah. I woke up the next morning. I couldn't move at all. Yeah. I'm just laying there thinking, what the F is going on now? Yeah, where am I going with this? There's doctors backwards and forwards talking to me, showing me this, showing me that, what had happened. So it turns out that I'd had a bleed on the brain stroke, which was quite serious. Yeah. There's me thinking, oh, I'll be going home later today, and little did I know what was in front of me for up until now. Yeah, I really thought, oh, that's it. You know, I'll be going home later today, but it never happened. So the doctors explained to me what was going on, what they was going to do, yeah, and that was it. That was as much as I could do at the time. So the next few days was a bit hazy, just laying in bed. They're giving me medication and I'm watching other patients come in. Some were much healthier than me. Some of them could walk, and there was some in there that was absolutely, completely out of it. They couldn't talk, they couldn't swallow, which was a bit scary, and it was an eye-opener to see exactly what was actually going on. So that was it. My worst part of the initial stay in the hospital was that I couldn't move. I could not move either side, yeah. They tried to sit me up, and all that kept happening, I just kept falling over, yeah. So that was it. They decided after a few days, right, let's put you in a chair. I couldn't even get out of the hospital bed. So they had to bring a hoist in, put it underneath me, hoist me up to sit in a chair at the side of the bed. And even then I had to be sort of strapped back because all I kept doing was falling over. So this went on for about 3 or 4 days, yeah. And then obviously reality set into me that this is really serious shit, mate, yeah. And I was so pissed off because I had so much to do. I wasn't thinking about the stroke. I'm thinking about, I need to get this done with our work and where we was going. I was so pissed off it happened at this time, yeah. So I spent the next 3 weeks in hospital. The hospital staff was brilliant, yeah. I cannot fault them whatsoever, yeah. They was absolutely brilliant. During this time, the physios come in. They tried to show me different stuff, what to do. But even then, I couldn't walk. I had one bad experience. I'm not going to name the hospital or the nurse. I had one bad experience which shouldn't have happened. And what that was that one night I was having a real bad time, and I couldn't move. I kept sliding down the bed, and the way my head was, I couldn't breathe. So I was using the buzzer, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So the nurse come in, right, and she was pissed off, that I'd used the buzzer, But what can I do? What can I do? So she's gone away, and that's it. So it's happened another time, but now I can't find the buzzer, So I've had to shout out for the nurse, nurse, So she's come in and said, what do you want now? Blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, I'm sliding down. You've got to try and prop me up so that I don't slide down, because I can't breathe, and I can't turn over. So she walked away. So I thought, what the am I going to do now? So I got my phone, and there was no buzzer there, no buzzer at all, So I started dialing 999, and she see what I was doing, and she come back. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm phoning the police. Why? I said, because you're not helping me. I said, I need help. I'm sliding down here. I can't breathe. I can't move, right? She said, use your buzzer. I said, where's my buzzer? It was on the side of the bed. It's not here no more. So with that, oh, here's your buzzer. It's fell under the bed. So I said, okay, now I can use the buzzer. So she propped me up, so that I was comfortable, wedged my feet down so that I didn't keep sliding down the bed, And basically, that was it. Off she went. Because I would have phoned the police and said, look, I'm in bed, in hospital, and I can't get no help. What else can you do? Come on, what else can you do? But that was the only bad experience. Other than that, in the hospital, they was absolutely brilliant, all the doctors, all the nurses, I got to know them all. And some of the patients, So one of the patients next to me, he couldn't talk, but we got on to know each other really, really well by sign language, believe it or not, And then there was another guy, Mohammed, in the bed opposite, that I'll tell you about in the rehab unit, which was a bit, how can I put it? Emotional, a bit emotional, So it just shows you that human nature, when we're put in a situation, we really want to help one another, And that brought it home to me, He couldn't speak English, but we understood one another. We was going through the same struggle, So that's it. So that was my stay in hospital. They come in to me one day and said, right, and this is at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, no warning, right, you're now going to rehab, That was it. They packed me up and sent me off to rehab, which was a completely different hospital. And that's another story that I'll carry on and explain what happened in rehab. So if you're still with me, thank you. Thanks for watching. We need lots of comments on this channel. I really need to backwards and forwards for people that have had a stroke to help me on my journey and to help them, or if you know someone that's had a stroke or even a similar illness or whatever where, they're in an awkward situation. Let's try and help one another through this, and I would love to build this channel to get lots and lots of people on board and talk about it and basically to help one another, because it seems there is not a lot of help out there once you've had a stroke. There is, but it's better if you're dealing with people that have had a stroke understand what it's like. You cannot understand what it's like unless you've had a stroke. I'm a builder, 77 years old, like I keep saying, I'm as tough as old boots. I've seen it all, This brought it home to me, really, really, of how vulnerable we are in life. And it doesn't matter how tough we are, the emotional side of it can break you. There's no two ways about it. So I'm not going to go on about it. Yeah, I'm babbling on a bit now. So what's the next segment of when I got to rehab? And that's quite interesting. So thank you so much for watching it this far. Thank you. So welcome back, guys. So basically, I've arrived in the rehab unit around about 7 o'clock in the evening after coming from the hospital. I'm quite surprised because it's a private room, which was quite nice, yeah. And basically, I just was made comfortable and went to sleep that night. So I'm thinking to myself that it's going to be a bit hard in here. It's going to be pretty brutal, yeah, to get people back to walking and stuff like that. So that was my thoughts. 6 o'clock in the morning, I was awoken by two nurses quite literally pulling me around, and I thought, good God, what's happening? They're literally pulling me from one side of the bed to the other, and they're stripping me off and giving me a bed bath, yeah, at 6 o'clock in the morning. So although I was a bit surprised and tired, I thought, this is what it's going to be like here. It's going to be tough. It's going to be like the army, yeah, get it done, get it done, get it done. So I wasn't quite surprised, yeah, as to the situation that I was in at that time, yeah. So that was it. Later in the day, the doctors come, told me what was going to happen while I'm there and stuff like that. Then the physios come to introduce themselves, to tell me what they was going to do, yeah, and how it was all going to work there. So all in all, I thought, okay, I understand what's going to happen now I'm here, yeah. But I was really depressed, yeah, really, really depressed. So that was it. A couple of days later, the physios come in and said, right, we're going down to the gym now, Mick, yeah, and we're going to do some exercises. So off we go down to the gym. I can't walk at this stage at all, right? I cannot walk at all. I can barely stand up, yeah. So they took me down to the gym, and for the first probably 2 weeks, it was just a question of stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. That was in the gym and also in the back in my room itself. It was like get out the bed, get back in the bed, get out the bed, get in the bed. That's how it was for a couple of weeks. I still couldn't walk, yeah. And then another couple of weeks has gone by of the same sort of stuff. I was managing to get out of the bed with help from them and stand up a bit better, getting my balance back a bit, and that was it. And then one day, another physio come in, her name was Lee, and she said, okay, Mike, we're going down to the gym and we're going to do some exercises. So I thought, okay, this is going to be the same sort of stuff. This had been going on probably for about a month now. Yeah, probably for about a month. So we've gone down to the gym and it was the normal stuff, yeah. The gym was full up with all the physios in there that day, yeah. And a couple of other people that they was treating. So Lee said to me, right, stand up, Mike, stand up, sit down, stand up, hold on to this, hold on to that. Lift that leg up, lift this leg up. And then another physio come over, Sharita, and then Lee said to me, Mike, we're going to try and get you to walk. Yeah, we're going to try and do some steps today. And I thought, what the fuck? There is no effing way I'm going to be able to walk. I can just about stand up. My balance is all over the place. I can just about stand up. How the F and hell am I going to walk? Yeah. So I thought, okay, I've got to do what they're telling me to do. So she gave me the walking frame, yeah, put it in front of me. I'm like this all over the place. I'm really, honest and truthfully, all over the place. And Lee's got one on one side of me, and Sharita's got on the other side. And they said, okay, let's go. So I'm trying to move my leg outwards and my other leg, but the pain in my left leg was really bad. But I've managed to do 1 or 2 steps. And then, through just sheer determination, I really pushed it. I got pissed off, yeah. Absolutely pissed off. I need to get walking. So I've carried on pushing and pushing and pushing. And I managed to do 7 to 10 steps, yeah, using the frame in front of me. And I was so overwhelmed, yeah, that I broke down and cried. Yeah, I broke down and cried. I give both the girls a hug, yeah. All of the physios in there stopped what they were doing and was all clapping me, yeah. Even some of the patients that was in the gym was clapping me, yeah. And that changed my thinking. That really, really changed my thinking. I needed that. That I can walk, yeah, not much, but I can do it. And the fact that everybody there was on a high. Everyone's clap, 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 clap. It really was an adrenaline shot for me, yeah. I felt so happy, so happy. And I thanked everybody. And then I've gone back to the room, yeah, sat on my bed, and it was tearful, yeah, they're on my own. But in my mind, I thought, F this. I now know that I can walk, yeah, and I'm going to push it to really make sure that everything goes as I want it to go. I'm not going to be bedbound. I'm not going to be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So that was that at that stage. I just went to sleep that night in a good mood. My depression was gone, yeah, because in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, good. I've done well today. I've done really, really well today. So the next day, my son comes to see me, yeah, and he said to me, I told him what had happened, so he's really pleased, really pleased, yeah. And he said, it was quite a nice sunny day. Dad, do you want to go out in the gardens? Let's go out in the gardens. And up until then, I couldn't be asked. I couldn't be bothered going out in the gardens. Yeah, I just didn't want to do anything, to be quite honest. So I said, yeah, okay, let's go out in the gardens. Let's go out there for a bit of fresh air. So he put me in the wheelchair, and we've gone out to the gardens that was in the rehab unit, walking me around, and we're talking about different stuff and everything else. And on our way back in, we've come in a different way to the way that we come out, and we're walking down this long corridor, and in the distance I can see a bedroom in the distance, and there's a guy in bed, and he's doing this, and I couldn't quite see who it was. Yeah, I didn't really take too much notice, but as we've got closer and closer, I realise it's Mohammed from the hospital ward where we was both in hospital, and he's waving and waving to me like this, yeah. And it was so emotional. Yeah, he was actually crying that he's seen me. The look on his face was so overwhelming. He was so happy to see me. And he can't speak English and I can't speak Pakistani, yeah. So we got together, we embraced, and it was so nice to see him, yeah. So here we are, 2 old men from different cultures, we can't speak to each other, we can't have a conversation, but we both know what we're suffering from. Yeah, we both know how hard it is. Yeah, and basically, two grown men having a cuddle. Yeah, so from different cultures. So that was a nice situation. So I see Mohammed a couple of times after that, but they moved him out to a different unit and I haven't seen him since then. But that was so emotional, yeah. And it was a nice experience. It was so nice to know him just for that short period of time. And who knows, maybe one day I'll find out where he is and we'll meet up. So that was my story of Mohammed, that basically human nature can take over, yeah, and it doesn't matter what culture we come from, we're all basically the same at the end of the day. At the end of the day. I had probably about 30 or 40 nurses in the rehab unit that I knew personally. There was one English, only one English. All the other nurses and physios was all foreign, yeah? But we all got on so well, so really well. They was helping me. I got to know everyone by name, yeah? And we could have a laugh and everything else. And how nice if the world could come together, something like that, where from different cultures, we're all the same at the end of the day. We're all the same at the end of the day. So I really, really thank all of them nurses and doctors there that was there for me and that really, really helped me. Yeah. There's so many. I will do a video to thank everybody, but basically the ones that really helped me there was Mita, Sharita, Lee, Sam, James, Nicolette, and also Chica. I haven't forgot you, Chica, because me and Chica are still in contact. Yeah, my Nigerian nurse that took real good care of me. And I thank you, darling, really from the bottom of my heart, of all the love and care that you give me while I was in that rehab unit. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now I'm in a situation where that I know that I can actually walk within reason. Within reason. I'm not going to be stuck in bed for the rest of my life or a wheelchair. The problem is that the physios couldn't spend a lot of time really getting you walking all the time. They had a limit of probably only 30 minutes a day. So by the time they come in and you have a chat and you don't really get much exercise. Yeah. So I understand. They're on limited times. So over the next few weeks, they could only spend a limited time with me doing handwork and walking and standing up and sitting down, the likes and stuff like that. So basically, by the time I come out there, I couldn't really walk. I could probably walk about 6 or 7 steps with the frame, yeah. And that was it. That was it. But the most important part of it was the fact that I've gone from the hospital bed of not even being able to get out of the bed to being able to get out of the bed and walking a few steps with a frame. That was a big milestone for me. I knew that I could push on and basically get somewhere back to where I was before. So that's the stage I got to. So the next stage is I'm going home. Yeah, they've decided they're going to discharge me. I've gone as far as I can in there, or they've gone as far as they can with me. And they're sending me home to my new property. And that's it. So thank you for watching.